Hello, my name is Fred Salman Mijage from Edukea Tanzania. I'm a History 2 teacher of advanced level, so welcome to proceed with our topic, which is new colonialism and the question of underdevelopment in the third world countries. On the last session, we ended on the effects of neocolonialism and underdevelopment in the third world countries. So now let us go directly to the efforts made by the Westerners to solve the problem of underdevelopment in the third world countries. So the efforts taken by the Westerners to curb the problem of underdevelopment of third world countries is observed through Blandet report. It means that the efforts that were made by the Westerners or imperialistic powers can be observed through the Blandet report, which was introduced in 1980. It means that Blandet report refer to an international group of politicians report written by independent commission chaired by Will Blandet in 1980, aimed at reviewing international development issues. It means that Blandet report was written by the group of politicians who were aiming at reviewing the international development issues, and that report was chaired by Will Blandet. And that Blandet report was written or was done in 1980. The commission had 18 members from West Germany, Kuwait, Colombia, Canada, UK, Guyana, Upper Volta, USA, Chile, France, Malaysia, Indonesia, India, and Sweden. These were the members of the commission, which comprised almost 18 countries. And that Blandet report was aimed much at improving the development activities internationally, and that was chaired by Will Blandet in 1980. So let us go to see the factors that led or that influenced the Westerners to be interested in helping the South. The first one, they need to expand the Northerners market. It means that those Northerners or imperialistic powers mean that the Northerners are regarded as the rich people or rich nations, and the Southerners regarded as the less developed countries or poor people. So they are the factors that led to the North to be interested in helping the South or the Southerners was they needed to expand the Northerners market. It means the Northerners come up with the Blandet report in order to ensure that they are expanding their market. For example, in the market of manufactured goods which were produced in northern countries or imperialistic powers. So they want to ensure that there is constant market for their manufactured goods, and they maximize the profit, and that will increase the growth of the economy. So another was the need to strengthen dependence of the South or the Southerners. It means that you have to bear in your mind that the Northerners had not good intention for the Southerners. It means the Northerners wanted to underdevelop more and more the Southerners. So you can see the factors that led to be interested to help the Southerners. They needed to strengthen dependence of the South. It means that those Southerners, those Northerners or Western countries or rich nations wanted to strengthen the dependence or dependence syndrome towards the Southerners. You can see that they were needed to make the southern countries to be dependent to the northern countries in all aspects of life. For example, in political matters, where there is adoption of Westerners or Northerners politics, like a multi-party system, the freedom of doing anything, or liberty. We can call it a liberty. But in economic matters, whereby the Southerners were keeping themselves in a demanding or seeking the assistance from the Northerners, like the financial assistance from World Bank and the IMF, which are controlled or under the USA, are the amongst of the Northerners countries. Another, they need to reduce to reduce unemployment in the North. It means that those Northerners wanted to reduce the issue of unemployment among themselves, so that they wanted to make the Southerners to open their doors, as the Northerners will come and invest and make their peoples in the North to come and supervise those projects or investment projects which will be invested in Southerners. So, for example, the companies or various companies which were established in different countries in the southern hemisphere. So you can see that, for example, the soft drink company like Coca-Cola, the mining company like Sherry, and other companies which were established by the Northerners, aiming at reducing the unemployment rate in their northern countries. Another factor was the need to avoid recession in the North. It means that the Northerners extended to South or influenced to help the Southerners in order to avoid the recession or economic recession in the North, so that the Southerners will create area for the production of raw materials for Northerners, and when they produce iron in the Northerners, the Southerners or the southern countries or southern hemispheres will be made as a dumping area for buying those goods which will be overproduced. But another, was the need to open the South for easy exportation by the North. It means that the Northerners wanted to open the door in the northern hemisphere in order to make easy or to simplify the exportation by the North. So you can see that the Brundtland report was aimed at to open the doors or in the Southerners in order to be easily exploited by the Northerners. So you can see various investments were done in southern hemisphere or southern countries so that they can be exploited. So, for example, the natural resources were exploited by the Northerners, and that stabilized and made the growth of the economy in the northern countries, as they are regarded as rich nations. And the last factor was the need to spread Western culture. It means that the influence of North to help the South was to spread the Western culture. As we know that the imperialists are there to spread their ideologies and their living style, so they come to help the Southerners in order to spread their culture. For example, the spread of homosexualities in southern countries. This has been brought by the Westerners, has been brought by the Northerners. So you can see their cultures are being spreaded in the southern hemisphere, so that they can be promoted and their cultures being developed worldwide. These were the factors for the North to be interested in helping the South. Let us see the circumstances that led to the formation of Blandity report. Which were the factors that led to the formation of Blandity report, or the reasons? The first one was the growing poverty in the Southern Hemisphere. It means that those 18 countries which were participating in the writing of Blandity report were they thought that there is growing poverty in the Southern Hemisphere. So they decided to come up with that Blandity report in order to remove or to reduce the rate of poverty in the Southern Hemisphere by introducing various strategies like introduction of various strategies like direct foreign investment, as various companies were introduced so that they will reduce the poverty in the Southern Hemisphere. But another was the failure of the world economic system. The failure of the world economic system. It means that the failure of the world economic system, it means in the Northern Hemisphere the economy was at the boom stage, but in the Southern Hemisphere the economy was at the low level. So they wanted to balance the economic system among the Southerners and the Northerners. But the truth was not that. The truth was to exploit more and more the Southerners. This is the politics. This is not true. And the another was the existence of unequal trade terms between the Northerners and Southerners. For example, it means that the existence of unequal trade, this was through the fixation of price, whereby the goods of Southerners have low price, and the goods of Northerners have the high price in the market. So you can see that the goods which are produced in the Southern Hemisphere do not compete in the world market as the goods which are produced in the Northern Hemisphere, as they have high price and high quality. So that led to the underdevelopment among the Southern Hemisphere. And that's the fixing price is done under the WTO, the World Trade Organization. And the last circumstance that led to the formation of Blandity report was globalization. Globalization is among of the circumstances that led to the formation of Blandity report, as the world has become as a village, so that those countries which participated in the formation of Blandity report, they come up to take that the Southerners and the Northerners should be made as the one village or the single village, and to be joined together, as it will be easy for them to do what they want. For example, to dump their manufactured goods in the Southerners, to invest as they need, to provide various aids and loans so that they can earn through harsh conditionalities, like putting the high interest rates in those loans which will be provided to the Southerners. So you can see these were the circumstances that led to the formation of Blandity report. After looking at that, let us see the recommendations of the Blandity report. The suggestions or decisions that were made in the Blandity report. The first one was the rich nations of the North should give a certain percent of their national income to less developed countries. It means that those countries which were participating in that writing of Blandity report, they suggested that the rich nations which are the northern hemisphere's countries, should give a certain percent of their national income to the less developed countries or to the southern hemisphere, so that they can boost up their economies. For example, through the giving of loans, aids, and other assistance. Another was there should be a campaign to improve agriculture in the south. It means that they come up with the decision of that the southern hemisphere must improve agricultural sector or agricultural activities in the south, which will be act as the backbone for their economy. That's why in different southern hemispheres countries come up with the strategies and the good ways to improve agricultural activities. As in Tanzania, they come up with Kilimo Kwanza, which played a lot role in the advancement of agricultural sector, and the production was increased. This was the recommendation of the Blunt report. Another recommendation was an international energy plan should be drawn up. It means that the international energy plan should be drawn up, aiming that the third world countries or less developed countries, which are the southern hemisphere, have been suffering from the energy or the source of energy. So they depended much on the Middle East. So in that Middle East were the source of energy to the imperialistic power. So it brought the competition, or it will bring the competition among the imperialistic powers and the less developed countries. And the result was the fluctuation of energy price in less developed countries, and that led to the increase of price. As a result, the economy of the nation will slump probably. Another was there should be a setup of the new development fund. It means that the Blunt report writers come up with the recommendation that there should be a setup of the new development fund. It means that they come up with the suggestion that the southern hemisphere should have their financial assistance apart from International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. So the southern hemisphere were suggested to come up with African Bank or Southern Hemisphere Bank, which will assist them in their financial matters. That's why in Africa we have formed the something called the African Bank, which were providing loans and aids to among themselves, so among the southern hemisphere countries. And another, or the last one, was family planning should be a major concern. It means that the family planning should be a major concern, whereby the southern hemispheres there was growing up of population. It means that the growing or the expansion of population, it was leading to the failure of the government to plan for better provision of social services and other services among them. So it was leading to the failing in economic plans and the urbanization. So in one way or another, it led to the underdevelopment among the southern hemisphere countries. And the another was the women should be the major concern, because the women in the southern hemisphere was deprived or was ignored. So they were not given the priority in various activities, like in employment opportunities, getting education. The women were not given the priority in participation of various economic activities. So the Blunt report come up with the recommendation of giving the women the priority in participation for economic growth. So after looking the recommendation, there is an exercise. It is explaining the factors for the northerners to be interested in helping the southerners. So until there, this is the end of our lesson. Thank you for listening to me and watching me attentively. I welcome you in another session. So have a good day.